Hello and welcome to now my third attempt at making this video because the first one, mic wasn't working, and the second one, I got interrupted. And so this video is basically to go over how to download and run a game that I recently made to help study. And you can use this to help study for anything you want, but when you first download it, it's currently set up for my final exam in environmental science. So step one is to download the game itself, which will be from Dropbox here. I'll have this link in the description. So you just hit download and go through the whole download process and then download the file. Put it on your desktop because it's easier to deal with it there, in my opinion. And it'll be in a zip folder. However, I like to just copy it out instead of extracting it because it's a lot faster. Then you can delete that because you don't need it anymore. And now you have the game on your computer, but can't run it because, well, I had the Love language installed so I can run it, but I'm just going to assume that you don't. So now you would go to https://love.2d.org and you would select the file that corresponds to your operating system. Now, for Windows, you can see I haven't ever used any of these other operating systems ever in my life, but with Windows, 32-bit will work on a 64-bit system. So if you're unsure if you're using 64-bit Windows or 32-bit Windows, just go with 32-bit because it'll work either way. So I'm going to use 32-bit because the Norton software complains when I use 64-bit, even though I can say after using this for about a year, there's this file here is completely safe, but apparently Norton disagrees for some reason. So you just download that. Download the zipped version. So it'll be in a zip file, and again, you can just copy that out because it's faster than extracting it. And then delete that because you don't need it anymore. And now, what I like to do is just send this to the desktop to create a shortcut because it's a lot easier to find it when it's on your desktop. And now to run the game, you just click the file here, drag it over, and it'll launch. There you go. You can now play the game all you want. However, like I said, it's currently set up for my final exam in environmental science, so if you ever want to change the questions, I recommend using Notepad++, but I'll show how you can use the normal Notepad, which comes pre-installed on Windows. Notepad++ doesn't. So to edit the questions, you would go into the game files, and you then go to Assets, Libraries, and then Game.lua. Now, if you want to open it with Notepad, you would go to Open With, and you'll have Notepad there. But if it's not in this list, you would go to Choose Default Program, and if it's not in this list, you would click More Options, and if it's still not there, you would then search for the exe file for Notepad. But I'm going to show opening it with Notepad++, which should be up right here, nice and easy to find. So now you've got it opened, and now you've got it opened. Let's just scroll down, and here's where all the questions are. And if you want to make your own questions, you would just select this all and delete it. Just get rid of it all. And now to make a new question, you would just do questions and spell everything correctly. Questions dot new. And then in these parentheses, you're going to have 4 strings. And if you've never dealt with programming before, I would recommend Googling Lua strings. So I'll demonstrate that real quick. Lua strings. And it should be the top result here. And this will basically explain how strings work in the Lua language, which is what this is using. So just 5 strings. 1 is the question, and then button 1, and between each string you need a comma there to tell it that it's a different piece of information. Then button 2, then button 3, then button 4. And then you put a number that tells it which button is the correct answer. And you would save that, and so now when you run the game, that question will be loaded in. I can demonstrate it. And here you go. And that's Netflix. Yep. Real professional. So, I'm used to having Notepad++ open down there. Didn't just then. That is the wrong folder. What am I doing? Here it is. What is going on? So, other things you can do in here is you can scroll back up to the top here, and you can change the window title. Now, just like with the questions and the buttons, this has to be a string. And also, you may have noticed that there's a player that you can control, and I just do that in for the fun of it. However, if you want to disable that because you find it distracting, you just change that to false. But if you want to get it back, you just change it back to true. And also, as you could hear, there was music playing. However, if you find that distracting as well, you can go into audio.lua and edit that and just put 2 dashes before this line here, line 16. Just put 2 dashes there, and the music will not play. And also, if you want to have different music, you would go to back to the, oh dear, what's going on? You would go back into the main file folder here, and you go to resources and then audio. And now you would take the song that you want it to play and make sure it's converted into an MP3 file, and then just rename it to song.mp3, and just then replace this audio file so that it's just one MP3 file named song in this folder, and it'll now use your music instead. And that's about it. That's everything. And I've already got all this on my computer already, so I can just delete that because it's a waste of space to me. So, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it helps. See ya in the next one.